Where the fuck are you taking me? Yeah, man, OG shit right here, man, yeah. We about to twist it up.
What's going on, everybody? This here is my reaction video to Dave Chappelle's latest Netflix comedy special, which came out a few days ago and stirred quite a controversy. I mean, not that Dave Chappelle hasn't always been outspoken and hasn't been getting heat from some group or another, but this one here, many believe, took it too far. Many groups and individuals are calling for the special to be taken off the platform, the streaming platforms. They're asking to cancel him, basically. And I believe that this special is different from anything that Dave has ever done. And first proof of that is that it is his last, to quote the man himself. He said that this one here is going to be the last in a while. And in it, he means to answer any questions that people might have had concerning the previous comments and jokes that he's been cracking on especially on the LGBT community. But again, I believe that this last special is much more than that, because he's done in it something unheard of, something that he had never done before. So he told two jokes that I believe went over the heads of so many people. Two jokes about Jews. Apparently they seem out of place, those two jokes. They seem like he just jammed them there for no reason, but he was very consistent at it. He was serious about it, as I will reveal in a moment. I believe that there is this very strong reason for that. These two jokes are in place. He meant them to be there, and he meant to get a bigger message across through those couple of jokes. Bear with me. Dave is a storyteller, right? So in his own fashion, he starts off by targeting the gay community. He says at an instance that his problem has always been with the white man, and by that he means white privilege. Here's a joke.
I ran right over there. I said, I pointed right in the camera. I said, "You's a bitch ass nigga for doing this to me." And the dude was shocked that I said it. He said, "Oh." And when he did like this, I seen all his fingernails was painted, and I realized, like, uh-oh. This fella's gay. Now, you know how I talk. I call everybody a bitch-ass nigga, you know what I mean? But that's not a right thing to do if they're gay, you know what I mean? And now I was in trouble. And not only that, the motherfucker was huge. He stood up, he was towering over me. He must have been 6'5", a big white corn-fed Texas homosexual. This nigga was ready to fight. And he started barking on me, but I stood my ground. I wasn't scared. How could I be scared? This motherfucker's shirt was tied up in a knot like this. Oh, fuck this guy. Let's go, nigga, let's go. I thought we were gonna come to blows. I was ready, And then, right when you think we would fight, guess what he did? He picked up his phone and he called the police. And this thing I'm describing is a major issue that I have with that community.
So the point that Dave is trying to make with this joke is that gay people are happy being gay, as long as they have their rights, but they can switch back to their white male identity anytime they feel the need to, just like this dude did when he called the cops on Dave. The comedian says that a black dude, a black gay person, would have never done so because it wouldn't have made the difference. But when the issue is between a black person and a white one, it makes all the difference. The second group of people he targets are the L's, the lesbians.
I came in the club minding my own business, and a woman came up to me. She goes, "Oh my God, Dave Chappelle." And I was just being reciprocally nice. "Hey, miss, how are you?" Blah, blah, blah. Benign talk, nothing to it. And all of a sudden, this lesbian fellow stepped between us. "Hey, nigga, that's my girl." I said, yo, my man, back up like that. She said, "I ain't backing up off shit, nigga, that's my girl." I said, "Bro, you're gonna have to give me 3 feet like this." She said, "Stop calling me a man, motherfucker. I'm a woman." I said, "What?" And then I looked deep in this nigga's cheekbones. I said, oh my God, you are a woman. It was just too much for me to even wrap my mind around. But I tell you what, I unballed my fist immediately, and I softened my posture so that she would know she's in no danger. I even changed the tone of my voice. I said softly, sweetly, like a pimp might say. Bitch, I'm about to slap the shit out of you.
You see the similarity, right? So this chick switched from being a man to being a woman in a fraction of a second when it suited her. Another instance of these members of this community juggling identities as they wish, just when it suits them. And then he brings up the topic of women in general. At this very instance, I felt that he was genuinely puzzled at the idea that some women accuse him of being misogynistic and sexist. He reminds the audience that he's been supporting the Me Too movement all along. It's just that he didn't agree with the tactics and methods they were deploying to, defend themselves. And it makes sense. He even declared on stage that he's a feminist. By the dictionary definition of the word, someone who believes in equal rights and opportunities for both sexes, men and women, then that would make him a feminist. And of course, the last people he targets are the T's, all the way back sitting by themselves by the window. I can't stop laughing at that joke, man. I just can't. The ones who are making the trip take longer. You know what I mean? He tells such an emotional story. And that's what's special about Dave Chappelle, you know? I mean, all comedians have that genius in them. It's very hard to make people laugh, but Dave transcends that. It doesn't only make you laugh, it makes you think. And he makes you feel. He can plant an idea in your mind if he wants to. The moving and emotional story that he told about Daphne, his departed friend who took her life away, convinces you that this person, is not transphobic. Had he been so, he wouldn't have made any connections with anyone of the sort. In his last special, Dave Chappelle closes the discussion on the LGBT community. He says that there will be no more jokes on this. It's taken more talk and energy and time than it should have. And I believe this is where the two seemingly incongruous and out of place Jew jokes that he told come into play. I'll let you watch both of them first.
I also saw a lot of videos of UFOs. What the fuck has been going on with that shit? These niggas are here. These UFOs keep coming to Earth, and it made me think of an idea for a movie. It sounds dumb, but hear me out. In my movie idea, we find out that these aliens are originally from Earth. That they're from an ancient civilization that achieved interstellar travel and left the Earth thousands of years ago. Some other planet they go to, and things go terrible for them in the other planet. So they come back to Earth and decide that they want to claim the Earth for their very own. It's a pretty good plot line, huh? I call it Space Jews. Space Jews. All right. It's gonna get worse than that. Hang in there. This is a wild story. I learned this past Juneteenth of a story that's true, and there was a black man who was in South Carolina during slavery who somehow got granted his freedom by his so-called master. And when his master granted him the freedom, he also gave him a plot of land. Now, it turns out this brother was brilliant. He had a good eye, a good knack for farming. And he farmed this plot of land very successfully and made a lot of money. And this is where the story gets crazy. When he got all that money, this nigga bought some slaves. Have you ever heard this before? This is a true story. Not only was he a slave owner, he became a slave breeder and employed tactics that were so cruel, even white slave owners were like, yo, my man. He was a wild dude, but he did it just because that's what successful people did at the time, and he just wanted to be down. What a fucking tragedy. How can a person that went through slavery perpetrate the same evil on a person that looks just like him? It's mind-blowing. And, shockingly, they're making a movie about him. Ironically, it's called Space Jews. Space juice.
Man, I live in North Africa, and when I heard the first joke, it didn't go over my head. I was like, whoa, what are you doing, Dave? I mean, no one is supposed to talk about that. But he does, and he's consistent at it. And in both times, he repeats the movie title twice. He's like, Space Jews, Space Jews. And he looks to the side and he goes, I'm going all the way. No one hardly ever laughs at those two jokes in the audience. They were not supposed to be funny. He's not the first one to criticize the state of Israel, you know. Roger Waters, a founding member of Pink Floyd, has always been an outspoken voice against the apartheid state. But almost nobody dares do that, because that's the fastest way to get cancelled. It can easily be called anti-Semitic, anti-Jew, and be cast to the side. Not Dave Chappelle. It is as if Dave wants to say, if you think you can corner me and cancel me for speaking out about the extremist left and punish me for speaking out against the LGBT community, I'm going even further. I'm going all the way in. Oh, I'm going to criticize this apartheid state that the US backs up and supports. I'm going to do what nobody dares do. I can't find a single reaction video on YouTube that tackles these two jokes. I'm sure lots of people noticed them, but they're too scared to even approach them. This art of stand-up comedy, which Dave Chappelle so feverishly defends, might truly be the last bastion, the last zone where people can voice out their opinion without the fear of being cancelled and cast away to the margin of society.
I start looking out the window, I see gun store, liquor store, gun store. Where the fuck are you taking me? Yeah, man, OG shit right here, man, yeah. We about to twist it up.